Hey, your friendly neighborhood geek here doing another anime review. Yes, not very holiday, but for anyone, if you guys want to see my more holiday oriented videos, I know it's a lot, but you're gonna have to scroll all the way to last year. I did more holiday because there was just more holiday content to talk about last year than there really was for me to talk about this year. So like I said, I'm just casually, just doing whatever topic I want to talk about next, basically. Um, well, I apologize if you were really looking for me to talk about more holiday content, but like I said, I really didn't have a lot to. There wasn't really a lot of material to really talk about this year for me, because I'd rather talk about more obscure stuff. There is one. I take that back. There is one obscure kind of holiday film I might talk about. So stay tuned for that. Like I said, I might talk about this specific film I'm thinking about. But today I want to talk about one of my favorite anime of all time, Afro Samurai. I love Afro Samurai. I've talked about it twice in two different videos. One of my first videos, I talked about the original pilot made by Madhouse. I've talked about that anime studio or animation studio several times in different reviews. I've been around for a very long time. Um, but the actual show that we got was made by Studio Gonzo, who unfortunately isn't around anymore, but I think they also made Rosario Vampire, of another fan favorite anime of mine. Um, I said it before, but for those who maybe didn't see those previous Afro Samurai videos, this was created by Takashi Tazaki Uzazaki. I'm sure I probably pronounced his name wrong. He grew up really being into he grew up being into black culture. I know he grew up watching Soul Train, and all those different things inspired him to create Afro Samurai. Um, there's only two volumes. Um, every version, he said in an interview, he kind of wanted every version to be different from each other. So the anime, the books, there was a video game. There were two video games, so I'll get into at the end. And even the pilot, the original pilot from like 2003, 4, they're all different in some degree, which I really like. He used Batman as an example. Like every adaptation of Batman is different from one another. Um, so yeah, so what is Afro Samurai about? Well, there were 5 episodes in total in a movie, so if you wanted, you could just watch the whole show in a day, really, or 2 days. Afro Samurai was voiced by Samuel L. Jackson, maybe one of his most well-known voice roles. He also played Afro's sidekick, Ninja Ninja, which is really cool. And the rest of the cast, they were well-known voice actors. Yuri Lowenthal, excuse me, who played Sasuke in Naruto. He played Ben 10, played a whole bunch of other characters. He played Insomniac Spider-Man from the PS4 game. Like I said, a whole bunch of other well-known voice actors and well-known actors in general who are part of this project. So what is it about? Okay, basically there are these headbands. There's kind of a spoiler. There's more than just the two headbands. We see kind of a spoiler for this 10-year-old anime. Um, at the beginning of the story, we see that Afro's father, Rokotaro, yeah, they gave a black character a Japanese name, which I guess is cool. It's different. His father was the number one warrior in the world, so he was considered the strongest person in the world for a long period of time. He lived in self exile. He was hoping that, you know, without the head, people, humanity would forget that the headbands exist. So they're evil, or if you want to consider them to be evil, would not, the endless cycle of revenge and death and killing and fighting would end. Um, but the number two wielder, is a gunslinger named Justice. Yes, a cowboy in feudal Japan. Interesting. Who him and Afro's father has history. I won't spoil that. I'll let you, go find the information yourself. Um, and he challenges. So anyone who wears the number two headband can challenge the number one. So since Justice is number two, he challenges Afro's father. Of course, Afro is present to witness this fight. This opening battle is really, really good. Really, 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 fun to rewatch. You can catch little things you may not have seen the first couple times you've watched the fight. Um, it doesn't end in Afro's pops. It doesn't end in his favor. He loses the fight in a very graphic manner. I won't spoil how he dies, but Justice wins. Um, and it's revealed at the end of the series how Justice, was able to uh, get the hitting blow on Afro's father. Um, of course, that messes Afro up mentally and all that stuff, and traumatizes him. He plans, he from that day forward, he wants to seek revenge on Justice for what he did to his father. Then we fast forward to him as an adult. He's already gained the number two headband, and from that point on, we just kind of see his journey. You know, going to Mount Shumi, which is where Justice resides. Um, we see his past. He was taken in by a sword master in his I guess orphanage or sword school, and we see him develop friendships, and then he meets his best friend in the school, and a lot of other stuff, a lot of other depressing, sad stuff happens. Um, there's this clan of monks who are trying to gain the number two headband, and I guess eventually gain the number one. So he has run-ins with these monks throughout the 5 episodes. His best friend comes back, and I won't spoil, but his best friend comes back as an antagonist. So that's really cool. And he does reach Justice, and they fight. And I guess kind of a spoiler, he does succeed in his mission, but at the end of his road, it's like shit. I mean, my dad's still dead. Getting revenge didn't bring him back. All the people, these relationships and bonds I formed over these years, all those people are no longer here anymore. So it's kind of like at the end of your journey, what's there for you? That's kind of the message. Like revenge doesn't really bring you. It won't bring those people back. It won't bring you any sense of peace, I guess. So there is a message in the story, a good message. Um, so yeah, that's kind of that's the series in a nutshell. The manga, again, 2 volumes. Uh, ooh, the manga, I definitely recommend the books because the ending is very different from the anime. It's a good ending, but it's a little bit darker. Surprisingly, the series is already dark, but it's a little bit darker than the anime, a little bit more depressing. So I recommend you check out the books if you're interested. I also recommend you check out the pilot because the pilot is really cool. And the pilot kind of looks more like the manga, which I really like. It's in black and white, and the manga's in black and white. Um, okay, Resurrection. Resurrection came out in 2009, so like a year and a half later. It's supposed to take place sometime after uh, the anime, and basically, we find out that Afro's best friend had a sister, and the sister wants to get revenge on Afro. So they steal a piece of his father's corpse. Like he has his father buried, and they steal a piece of his corpse to make a clone out of him. And I guess use the clone to psychologically, just K-word Afro, like psychologically mess with him and use the clone to K-word him or something. So he no longer has the number two headband. Well, yeah, he no longer had it. Someone else had claimed it, so he had to search out the person who currently had it, fight them to the death. Unfortunately, he eventually gains it back. Then he eventually confronts his best friend who survived their battle from the show, and uh, the friend's sister and their minions. And we get an epic fight. We get an epic, kind of sad, tragic fight. With the clone of his father, his best friend who treated Afro like a brother, and the sister. And it kind of ends like on a cliffhanger. I don't know if they were gonna do a follow up, and the movie wasn't successful, which really sucks. But hopefully we'll get a continuation one day. Definitely recommend it. and check out the. Hey, your friendly neighborhood geek here doing another anime OVA review, this time on One Piece. Defeat the pirate captain Gunzak? Gunzak? I don't know. I don't know how to say the villain's name properly, but he has a cool sounding name. Um, yeah, this is an OVA that came out in 1998, and for years I had no clue, excuse me, this existed. Apparently, this was the first time One Piece was adapted into animation. This was animated by Studio IG, same people who did Ghost in the Shell. I'm assuming the original Ghost in the Shell movie. I'm not sure if they animated, the future Ghost in the Shell properties or whatever spinoffs, but um, uh, the author, I forgot how to say his first name, but Oda. Mr. Oda wrote for this along with another writer as well. This is directed by Goro Taguchi. Cool. I'm never good at pronouncing the Asian names. Oh yeah, Oda's first name I think is Ichiro Oda, something like that. Um, yeah, I love One Piece. If you can't tell by my new the look I'm going for, this bucket hat is based off a character from One Piece. Luffy's adopted older brother Ace, who's one of my favorite One Piece characters. Period. I have a little Ace minifigure. He's in storage right now, but yeah, I love Ace. Ace was my favorite character back in the day. Um, I'm not going to spoil what happens to him for anyone who hasn't maybe gotten into One Piece or maybe who hasn't gotten to that part where they go kind of a slight spoiler. The Straw Hat Pirates have to go rescue Ace for reasons I won't get into why, but um, another fun fact in Japan, there is a statue of Ace and his captain, Whitebeard. Yes, they made a statue of two fictional characters. I love how much Japan embraces their culture. I just love it. Um, I hope to visit there one day. I might mention that in a future video, me visiting Japan. But anyway, not to get off topic. So, like I said, this hat is this in the anime Ace wore it kind of like a cowboy hat, but the design, is just for the bucket hat. But yeah, I love One Piece. I grew up watching, I think, the Four Kids dub, and then maybe eventually I think I saw it on Toonami. But of course, it's super duper long, and I actually just started casually watching it from the beginning. Um, some months back. But I love One Piece. It's one of my childhood anime, even if I did kind of fall off. But I'm still, you know, I'm still kind of up to date with what's currently going on in the story. Um, but yeah, and I saw the Netflix show. Um, I liked it. Some people thought maybe the acting was a little over the top and some of the fight scenes were a little goofy. I enjoyed it. Thought the cast did great. I thought the actor who played Luffy was very good, and he was very passionate about the role. He really put his all into that character. The cast did great with what they were given. I know there was just a lot of love and positive energy on the set. I think yeah, it got a season two. We're getting a season two. I'm very curious to see how long this will go, considering how long the manga and the anime is. But fingers crossed. I'll say thumbs up. Fingers crossed that season two is just as good as season one. So yeah, they did a phenomenal job. Netflix did a phenomenal job with the One Piece live action, in my opinion. So again, okay, getting off topic. What is this about? Like I said, this is OVA, so I don't know. This came out 1 year before I was born. So I don't know if this is canon to the main series, and apparently there's been a lot of OVAs for One Piece, which I wasn't aware of. And again, I don't know if all those OVAs are canon to the main series. Um, so apparently, I'm assuming this takes place after, of course, after Luffy recruits Nami and Zoro. They they reach this island. They just kind of been sailing, not, I guess they not knowing where exactly they were, like they were lost, and they were just ended up reaching this island. I think that might be the main villain, Gazak. That might be him. who we have this village. These people, they're being terrorized by an evil pirate and his crew. Of course, Luffy doesn't stand for that type of stuff, so him and his two Straw Hat uh, crew members spring into action, fight Gonzak and his minions. We get a fun, I mean, it's the first time we see these characters in animation, the first time seeing Luffy use his stretchy powers in animation. It's a lot of fun. It's good. It's very entertaining. Voice cast again. This wasn't dubbed, unfortunately, but the Japanese voice cast did a good job, and yeah, it was just very colorful, and it's just cool to see, that late '90s, animation, like One Piece and that late '90s animation, like it's just so different from, I think it's Toei, yeah, same studio that did Dragon Ball, Toei. I think Toei does the anime and the movies and OVAs, but like I said, for them not to be the first studio to animate One Piece is really, really cool. Studio IG did a good job, like I said, bringing these characters to life. Um, I was supporting. From what I remember, I just remember the little girl as like the most well remembered supporting character. But yeah, the supporting cast was cool. Like I said, it's a fun watch. Don't expect too much. It's just entertaining. You just watch it and you move on to the next piece of One Piece content. But like I said, it's a lot of fun. Uh, Oda and the other writer did a good job. The story. It felt like, yeah, I could see this fitting into the universe. Just is a lot of fun. Like I just keep saying it. It's a lot of fun because it is. It's just a lot of fun to watch. If you're a One Piece fan, you'll definitely enjoy this. I'm sure there's diehard fans who have seen this already, but for maybe casual fans, like myself, even though I grew up with One Piece, I still kind of consider myself a casual fan. I have a handful of action figures and collectibles. So I have this hat. So like I said, I still consider myself a casual One Piece fan because I'm not still deep into the story like I was when I was younger. But of course, I will be there for when the story ends. I would definitely read the final chapter. I did the same thing for Bleach when Bleach ended. Um, but yeah, go give One Piece, Stop the Pirate, Gunzak. I'm sure I probably butchered the title, but go give this fun OVA a watch. It's on YouTube for free. Just type One Piece OVA 1998 and it should, come up. And check out the other One Piece OVAs. Check out the manga. Check out some of the video games. If you haven't, definitely check out the Netflix show. Even if live action anime isn't your thing, at least watch the first episode. At least do that much. Watch the first episode and get your feet wet. Um, but yeah, like I said, go give this awesome One Piece OVA a watch. Check it out. Peace, you guys. Hey, it's your friendly neighborhood geek here doing another YouTube Spotlight video type review. This time we're going back to Baylina Productions. I talked about this channel in the past. I talked about Sonic Scare Stupid, which is a very um, beloved fan Sonic Halloween type special. Um, so the person who created that special was Stephen Page. He is the person who owns this channel, Baylina Productions, the person who created this channel. He's a very big in the Sonic fan community. He's been to official Sonic events. Like Sega has invited him to like movie premieres and conventions and all types of stuff. He's been making Sonic content for over 10 years now. As of this video, the channel's kind of in trouble. Apparently, he's not making, I guess, enough um, income from just YouTube, and he's asking people who rather are patrons to the channel or people who are longtime fans, if they could pitch in and help, or I guess financially, so the channel doesn't go under and he can continue to make content. So hopefully that doesn't happen because, like I said, Steve's content, his Sonic content, is very fun and this is something he has a passion for and loves doing and all that good stuff. So would really hate to see it end because of, financial reasons. Um, so as you see behind me, so this is Christmas with Sonic, basically. Um, the first special was 12 years ago. In total, you see there were 8 specials. The very last one was 3 years ago. Um, oh yeah, real quick. I hope everyone had a happy holiday, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, whatever you celebrate. Hope you had a good December 25th. I myself, my Christmas was pretty good. Not really, nothing too exciting really. It was just pretty low key, honestly. It was more fun for my younger sibling than it was for me, of course. But had a good time. Just spent time with family or whatever. But yeah. So the first one, which was 12 years ago, holy crap! I remember when these were coming out. It's hard to believe how old they are. And the second one, another Christmas with Sonic, was 10 years ago. Um, so the first one, it starts off, and I want to say, Steve basically has his own fan fiction. Basically, like the Sonic you see in all his videos is the same Sonic in these specials, and these characters, all the characters you see in these Christmas specials are the same characters from his other Sonic-oriented content that he's made, which is really really cool. So this is his own universe, fan fiction, all that type of stuff, which is really neat. This isn't attached to the video games, the video game universe or comic universe or whatever. Um, so it starts off with Sonic and Tails at their house because they live together. Tails was originally going to go to like Hawaii or Paris to spend Christmas with his parents, and Sonic was going to just stay at home and watch TV all day. That's how Sonic chooses to spend his Christmas. Um, Unfortunately, Tails' plans don't work out, and he decides to stay home and spend it with Sonic. And Sonic is like, no. So Sonic is like, okay, well, he said, I don't really spend Christmas at the house. I spend it at my mom's house. So we get introduced to Sonic's mom, um, his sister. I forgot his sister's name, and his brother Manic. Um, which his brother and sister are directly taken from Sonic Underground, which was a Sonic cartoon that not a lot of people, to my knowledge, not a lot of fans really thought was all that great. I've seen a little bit of it. It's okay, just really wasn't my cup of tea. But again, I like that Steve pulled from that show and brought the brother and sister into this universe. Um, so like I said, he goes to his mom's house. His dad's not in the picture, which is we actually see his dad in one of the specials later on down the line. That's a whole story. Uh, I feel I don't know if it's really my place to really speak on it, but in real life, Steve's dad wasn't really part of his life, and he kind of wrote some of that experience into this fan fiction, which you can look at as a cool thing or kind of a sad thing because, like I said, this is what Steve actually experienced with his real dad in real life. But again, I kind of like how again it's fan fiction and also kind of pulling from personal experience into this universe or whatever. So I do think that is still pretty cool. Um, excuse me. So yeah, so Sonic's mom, his brother, sister, pretty much the rest of the cast: Amy, Knuckles, Team Chaotix, Shadow, uh, and I think Silver. Yeah, Silver and Blaze do eventually become part of the main group as the specials go on, and eventually Dr. Eggman, he eventually gets invited to the holiday party. And they do a lot of funny stuff with him down the line as well. Like we have a Christmas with Eggman, and they spend the Christmas with Eggman's family, and a lot of funny stuff like that. We had a Christmas with Silver where they spend Christmas at Silver's house, and a lot of funny, crazy, silly hijinks takes place. Um, so again, just a lot of fun, just seeing all these characters together, a little bit out of character, a little bit in a funny way, and just spending Christmas together. The writing was really funny. Um, I should have put my phone on vibrate. The writing was very funny. You know, all the voice cast, everybody did a good job. Steve played. Steve is a voice actor, so he plays Sonic in all his videos, and he plays other miscellaneous side characters. And he does a really good job of playing Sonic. So, thumbs up for Steve on that one, doing a good Sonic impression. Um, so like I said, so the first one, just Sonic's kind of miserable. He's like, I really don't want to be here. He wants to spend Christmas his way, but he knows how important Christmas is to his mom when his father basically abandoned them. So that's why he puts up with it. And as the special goes on, he eventually enjoys everybody's company. He gets a brand new pair of socks for Christmas, which is really cool. Um, the second one, they kind of go around telling stories. So they do like a parody of Rudolph, a parody of the Grinch, how the Eggman stole Christmas, which is hilarious. And that was a fun one. Like I said, they did Christmas with Eggman, where they spent it with his family, and they did one with Silver, where they spent it at Silver's house, Silver the Hedgehog. They did one where, like I said, Sonic's dad came back. I think to spend the holiday with them. I think it was only because Sonic had became famous. When Sonic became a famous hero, that's when he was interested in being a part of his life. I think he thought Sonic was like rich or something. That was a funny one because the dad, everybody tore into the dad, especially Sonic's mom. So that was a funny one. Um, and that's kind of it. I think they did one where maybe they were on a deserted island or something, or maybe they went to Hawaii. I can't remember. Um, but like I said, for a lot of people, this is, something that they watch every holiday. I watch it like every other holiday. You see behind me, the little red line at the bottom of the video shows that I watched it. So I watched the first two because I really enjoyed those ones this Christmas. Like I said, there's a lot of fun. I mean, the way they're animated, they're kind of like I forgot what you call them, not production stills, but like pre animation, like before the animation is finalized. They look like storyboards. That's how they look due to budget. Hopefully, maybe one day these could get fully animated. Um, some people have reanimated scenes from these specials in like Gmod, so in the 3D animation. Um, like I said, these are just really, really good. And, I love sharing fan work because there are a lot of talented fans who make, um, top tier content based off, existing media. Um, but like I said, there's 8 videos. You could probably binge it in like 2 days if you wanted. I recommend it. Christmas with Sonic is, it's fun. It's for a lot of people. A lot of people see this as a holiday tradition. Um, yeah, I know. Happy belated Christmas review, but go give it a watch. Check it out. Peace, you guys. Hey, your friendly neighborhood geek here, doing another holiday s special. I also want to apologize. I haven't really uploaded the last couple days. I try to upload, on a consistent basis. I have a process where I upload like every other day of the week or whatever. But I've been under the weather and I didn't have any upcoming uh, TikToks to upload. So yeah, I'm trying to catch up with, my uploads and whatever. So I am talking about something that is, to me, kind of like childhood nostalgia for me. This may have been like one of the first 2 episodes of the Adult Swim series, sketch comedy series Robot Chicken, created by Matthew Senrich and Seth Green. Seth Green is at this point he's a veteran actor, voice actor. You see, he has his own show, producer, writer, all that good stuff. His wife is also an actress as well, so that's really cool. Um, and this is just something that him and Matthew Senrich wanted to do, way back in the early 2000s. This is just a concept they had, and originally I think the show was called Twisted J Presents, and Adult Swim. During that period they were looking to, put out new shows and content or whatever, and eventually Robot Chicken got made. And I think it's still on the air. I think they're like at season 8, maybe. I still binge it, periodically. It's still a lot of fun. I do kind of prefer the earlier seasons more than the current ones, but yeah. So this, like I said, may have been like one of the first two episodes, which was a holiday special, which was really neat. This is about, you see behind me, I think that's Goten. I'm not sure. It says Gohan Goten. But it's about Goku and Goten, or Gohan. Um, but I think it's Goten because we see four stockings. Um, Helping Santa save Christmas. So basically, Santa crashes through the chimney, asks, Goten and Goku to help him save Christmas. He said there's these evil villains. They've plotted to, destroy Christmas and all that stuff. So Goku, Goten, Santa, and Santa's reindeer, including Rudolph, um, have to fight these bad guys. Composite Santa Claus, who's half Santa, half Frosty the Snowman. So stupid. Um, he doesn't really have any powers. He's just an a-hole. The Nutcracker, who knows like 400 different ways to kick you in the nuts, which is hilarious. And the little drummer boy, who just who can summon, I guess, demons or something with his drums. He has a cool design. He looks just like an anime character. If the little drummer boy was an anime character. Um, and yeah, we kind of get all these kind of comedic fight scenes, and there's a lot of humor, there's a lot of comic book and anime references thrown into the sketch. So I won't spoil what the references are, but if you're familiar, with anime or comic book superheroes, you probably would um, get the references, and they're really funny. Um, so I won't spoil who the main villain is, but the reveal is very funny and very hilarious. And it just ends in a funny fashion. It ends in a very, humorous, comedic fashion. Um, but like, there's a lot of funny jokes, a lot of funny, references. There's a censored and uncensored version. So when they're swearing, it bleeps it out. But the uncensored version, you hear the full, swearing. Um, this is on YouTube for free. The whole sketch, which is like 4 minutes long, is on YouTube for free. I highly recommend it. It's hilarious. It's in my opinion, one of Robot Chicken's best sketches. Um, but yeah, stay tuned for more. Go give this Dragon Ball Holiday Robot Chicken sketch a watch on YouTube. Peace, you guys. Hey, your friendly neighborhood geek here, doing another cartoon movie special review type of thing. This time on Dr. Seuss. Halloween is Grinch Night. Yes, for those who don't know, I certainly didn't know for years, there was a Grinch holiday special. Now, Halloween holiday special. This took place, this was made like some years after the original How the Grinch Stole Christmas. This came out in 1977. This was directed by Gerald Baldwin. Interesting. This stars Mel Blanc and Paul Frees. Mel Blanc was basically the man with 1,000 voices. He was a veteran voice actor during his time. He voiced um, pretty much all of the Looney Tune characters. He was the original voice for Bugs Bunny. He did so many voices you have to Google him, but surprisingly, he doesn't voice the Grinch in the special. He voices other characters. But and Paul Frees is another well-known voice actor during that period. Um, so yeah, I think this is based off a book, uh, and obviously, I assume this takes place before the Christmas one because Grinch acts, very kind of mean spirited and sinister and all that stuff that comes with the Grinch. um, so what is this about? Basically on Halloween, I guess, encourages the Grinch to just kind of be a butthole and cause chaos and havoc and Whoville. There's this little boy who, for some reason, he I guess he has to go to the bathroom or something, but he has to go to the outhouse, and by doing that, he ends up encountering the Grinch, or he ends up going after the Grinch himself, like I guess to confront him. for whatever reason. Uh, and we kind of get like this psychedelic, um, what is a transition of like animations. And I think there's singing elements too. If for anyone who's ever seen Disney's Fantasia, it's kind of like that. Like the sequences kind of reminded me of Fantasia. Kind of hard to explain. If you've seen Fantasia, you might get an idea of what I'm talking about. Um, so yeah, like so the little boy is has accompanied the Grinch, and I guess the Grinch has explained to him why Halloween is Grinch night, and yeah, you see Max right there. Max is present, and like I said, it's kind of it. Like there's more to it, but I won't spoil it. It's just it's weird. It's weird, but it's cool and it's unique and it's different and yeah, it exists. The Halloween Grinch special exists. Okay, cool. Um, from what I remember, the voice cast did fine. I believe this won an Emmy. This special won an award, which is really cool. Again, this is just cool and different and unique. And if you love The Grinch, I highly recommend it. You can watch it during Christmas. You can watch it during Halloween. Um, Whatever you prefer. But definitely, you know, it's very out there, but it's very worth your time. I recommend it. So like I said, that's really all I have to say. I just kind of wanted to spread awareness, give you somewhat of a synopsis of the special. I haven't seen it in a while. It's on YouTube for free, like with most of these obscure pieces of content. So yeah, go give Dr. Seuss Halloween is Grinch Night a watch on YouTube. Peace, you guys. Hey, your friendly neighborhood geek here doing another short film slash Marvel video review. This time on a fan favorite, in my opinion, The Punisher, Dirty Laundry. This stars Thomas Jane, who played the Punisher in, I think, the early 2000s Punisher movie. I can't remember what year exactly it came out when John Travolta was the bad guy. There have been a couple other Punisher films prior to Thomas Jane's Punisher, and I think there was one. Excuse me. I think there was one that was made like in 2008 or something called Warzone. I never really saw that one. The actor who I forgot his name. He has a really kind of really specific sounding name. The actor who played the Russian boxer in one of the Rocky movies. I think the one who K-worded Apollo Creed. He played the Punisher in the '80s, which I thought was really cool. So I'll probably check his version out at some point. But yeah, the Punisher is a really really cool character. He's like kind of like Batman, but if Batman K-worded people. Um, but he is a very cool, unique Marvel character. I think his first appearance was in a Spider-Man comic, kind of like with Wolverine. Um, oh man, I should have grabbed it. I have a Punisher action figure. I should have showed him off, but I didn't think to pull him out for this video. So take my word for it. But the Punisher figure I have is from the Toy Biz Marvel Legends line. Um, he's just a cool action. He's just a cool looking action figure of the Punisher. So yeah, like I said, so this was a fan film directed by Phil Jonu, who I think this was part of a series called the Bootleg Universe. You can Google that yourself. I'm not sure if Phil also directed Power Rangers. There was a dark, gritty Power Ranger fan film. I think it's part of the same production studio company. So I'm not sure if Phil directed that as well. You'll have to Google that. Maybe I'll talk about that on a later date. Um, and Tim Bradstreet, who I think maybe he wrote this. I'm not sure what Tim did exactly, but like I said, so Thomas Jane reprises his role as the Punisher. I think this was intended for Hollywood to take to I guess make a sequel or a follow up to Thomas Jane's original Punisher movie. Of course, that fell through, but we still have this awesome, solid fan film. This also stars Ron Perlman, aka Hellboy, Slade from Teen Titans, the main villain in Afro Samurai, and so many other stuff. Big fan of Ron Perlman's. He was Optimus Primal recently in the Transformers Rise of the Beast movie. He also played Optimus Primal in the Miss Cinema Transformers web series. I believe he did this for free or as a favor, from what I've heard. So if that's true, that's really, really cool, and just shows how dedicated he was to this project if he was willing to do it for free. Um, so really, like I said, Thomas Jane and Ron Perlman are the two big names in this fan film. Uh, so yeah, what is it about? Basically, so we see Punisher, aka Frank Castle, going to the laundromat on a very, yeah, I guess, ugly side of town. He's not wearing his iconic shirt, his with the skull symbol on it. We do see the shirt at the end of the fan film, kind of a spoiler, but so he sees like I guess like a gang lord harassing a little boy who's walking home from school, and he was also I guess abusing some prostitutes that maybe worked for him. I'm not sure. Um, he's kind of like, what the f are you looking at? Like, so Frank just at first Frank casually minds his business. He goes into the laundromat to wash his clothes. So of course he starts seeing what's going on outside. So he leaves the laundromat, like his clothes are still continuing to wash in the washing machine. He leaves the laundromat. He goes over to a convenience store, which is owned by Ron Perlman, who his character is crippled. And Ron Perlman's character kind of gives, I think his name is like Big Earl or something. He kind of gives him like he tells Frank a story like, yeah, I tried to be a hero once, and you see what it cost me. It cost me to be crippled. Um, so Frank buys a bottle of like alcohol or something, and he takes it. So he walks outside the store, and of course he has the bottle in his hand, and we get a pretty cool, yeah, pretty cool fight scene. Of course, because of Punisher Frank's military background, he was in the military, so he knows how to use all types of weapons and combat and stuff like that. Of course, he's able to easily defeat the thugs and the gang lord, um, and they all get what's coming to them. So the effects, I mean, it's this is R rated. Yeah, I think it's R rated. The effects are kind of dated, but the action makes up for the dated or low budget effects. And then it just kind of ends like he ends up saving the prostitute, saving the little boy. The gang leader gets his comeuppance, and he hands the little boy his T-shirt, which we see is the Punisher shirt, and it kind of ends. It ends there with him. You're a mean one, Mr. Grinch. I apologize. I should put my phone on vibrate. But you see, I have the Grinch as my notification. The Grinch will pop up again in a later video. Um, yeah, so that's where it ends. Like I said, it's just kind of my phone on vibrate. It's just kind of sad this didn't, get a follow up, or, this wasn't like I said. I think their plan was to get Hollywood to make a sequel to Thomas Jane's movie, and that didn't happen, unfortunately. But like I said, this is really cool. It's a solid, well filmed, well, written short film. I'm not sure if I said this came out in 2012, which is cool. I didn't know it was 2012. I thought it was like 2010 or something. And like I said, there's a whole bunch of other superhero fan films out there. Like I talked about Batman Dead End, where Batman fought the Predator, the Predator, which was holy crap. That was huge when it came out. So like I said, there's other fan films I'll probably talk about. I do like fan films. I love seeing passionate fans make these type of projects. Like I said, I talked about Batman Dead End. I've talked about some Spider-Man fan films by a film director named Dan Poole, who portrayed Spider-Man / Peter Parker in his films. And there's a handful of other Spider-Man films, and like I said, there's a handful of other superhero films I would like to talk about down the line. But like I said, this is on YouTube for free. Go give it a watch. It's like I said, it's only like 10 minutes or something. Highly recommend it. Yeah. Also, I know last year, real quick, I did a lot of like obscure Christmas media. Unfortunately, I just haven't really found anything Christmassy worth talking about. There are a few specials that I do want to talk about, so stay tuned to that. Like I have a few holiday related videos I want to do, so stay tuned for those. Yeah, catch you guys later. Peace, you guys. Hey, friendly neighborhood geek here, and happy holidays, I guess. Even though it's not Christmas Day of this recording, but anyway, yes, I am talking about Robbie the reindeer. This had three specials which came out, in a span of a couple years. The first one I think was in '99. The second one was in 2001, 2002, and the very last one was 2007. I don't think I've seen the last one. Um, this is a very cute and kind of I guess you could say kind of a modern holiday special. It takes place during holiday time. I don't know. I don't think any of them actually took place on Christmas Day, but maybe leading up to Christmas Day. But these were cute, holiday specials that they now air on CBS. Originally, these were produced by BBC. I think the first two, or at least the first one, was animated by Artman's Films, which I believe are the same people who did Wallace and Gromit. For anybody who's familiar with the Wallace and Gromit character or franchise. So like I said, these are claymation, so stop motion, but the figures, characters are made of clay and all that good stuff. You see behind me, we have Ben Stiller, Britney Spears, Hugh Grant, Jim Belushi, Jerry Stiller, who is Ben Stiller's father, who sadly passed away a couple years ago, and Leah Remini, who is also a well-known actress. She's most famous for a sitcom called King of Queens, um, where her and Jerry Stiller play father and daughter, which is really cool. So like I said, this had a really good cast, surprisingly. Um, so what is this about, basically? Well, it's about Robbie. He is the son of Rudolph. Rudolph sends him to, I guess, I'm not sure if it's the North Pole, but he sends him to be one of Santa's elves, not elves, to be one of Santa's reindeer, and possibly help, guide the sleigh or be part of the sleigh team. He's Rudolph is hoping that it, encourages Robbie to be, more responsible and, kind of, I guess, give him like a drive or whatever. So of course Robbie's kind of like, not sure if this is really for me, but he goes anyway. Um, Robbie's nose, just like how Rudolph has the red glowing nose, Robbie's nose is has its own special ability. Like it can like detect, I guess, any place in the world. So if you were trying to go to Texas or something, his nose will know what direction to go and how to get to Texas the fastest, I guess, which is pretty cool. Um, so there is another reindeer, um, and maybe Blitzen, I can't remember, who's jealous of Rudolph, and he's not very fond of Robbie, and he's trying to sabotage Robbie and get him, I guess, demoted and get him kicked off the sleigh team. So that's interesting. So we kind of have we have our villain, which I guess is kind of a spoiler, but this is like 20 years old, so sue me. No, don't sue me. um, so, like I said, and we get introduced to the other reindeers who are part of the team, which is really cool. Of course, we get introduced to Santa and Mrs. Claus, and they have like a kind of like a reindeer Olympics. I guess yeah, if you win the Olympics, then you're eligible to be on the sleigh team or however you say it. So Robbie has to get training from an old reindeer played by Jerry Stiller, Ben Stiller's father. Ben Stiller plays Robbie, which is really cool. And the old reindeer trains him, and he's like, "Oh," well, he tells him about Blitzen. He's like, "Oh yeah, I know that scoundrel or whatever." So he's like, "Yeah, I'll help you. I'll help you kick his butt." Um, so that's kind of the first one. He defeats Blitzen. He wins the Olympics. He gets the girl. I won't spoil who he falls. He ends up getting um, falling in love with, but she's played by Britney Spears, so that's pretty cool. Britney did a really good job as a voice actress. That was really cool to see. Um, So yeah, so the second one, I guess it's kind of like, which is funny. It's like, okay, we know what our job is come Christmas Day. You know, we guide the sleigh, helps, Santa deliver the presents. So what do we do all the other 360 for 3 days of the year, which was a very, funny and neat idea. So I guess they kind of start like a hotel business or a tour business or something, where where they live. All the reindeers live in like this big lodge cabin type of thing. Um, Blitzen comes back from being in prison. Of course, he's still evil, and him and a group of other characters, I won't spoil plots, who just, I guess, K-word the reindeer or something. So Robbie and company have to find a way to stop him. Um, and again, the second one is it's a fun follow up. Again, it had a cool idea, like what do we do for the rest of the year up until Christmas? So that was a very fun, cool concept. Um, I don't think I saw three. Unfortunately, the third one, which came out in 2007, and unfortunately was the last one. So hopefully, I'll watch that before this year is over. um, so that's kind of it for Robbie the Reindeer. I mean, like I said, the first two specials are really charming, really cute. It's just kind of just something different from the traditional Christmas holiday special. I really felt like the cast made these specials, like the voice actors, the cast did a really good job. And in the credits, they do show some of behind the scenes when the cast are in the recording booth, the recording studio. Um, I said, I like the character designs. I like that claymation. I've always been a fan of stop motion, claymation, all that good stuff. So, yeah, if you're interested, highly recommend it. Just, if you have a smart TV, just Robbie the Reindeer, speak it into your remote, should pop up. Um, yeah, and go give this unique, different holiday special or holiday specials a watch this Christmas. Peace, you guys.